Hello and welcome back to Pulling the Flag. We're into the second of 3 games. We've had a couple of pitch difficulties today. We've had a slight overrunning. One of the pitches was ruled out of commission, so we've been playing on a slightly restricted area, and that's meant that we're running a little bit later than we expected to be. But it all works out fine because we've got Coventry under-17s facing off against the Horsham Barbarians under-17s, who are hotly tipped to claim BritBowl this year after falling down at the final hurdle last year against the Buckinghamshire Wolves. I'm joined in the commentary box by Mike Sullivan once again, and Rudi Halfmann, of course, of the Sheffield Vipers and Nuala. Rudi, thanks and welcome for coming over.
Yeah, hi there. Thank you for having me.
Now, Mike, you're a veteran in the commentary box at this point now.
Yes, I was just in the green room earlier, and I've just dispersed my entourage. So I'm fully here and present, ready to rock this.
So we'll be sitting here. We've got the first drive is going to be Coventry's. They're going to start off the first half, and it's a short one to start.
Coventry playing all day with a mixed team, one of the only teams here doing that. Quite a skill set in the girls there.
You've got Grace Conway takes the first Coventry pass of the first half. Coventry, of course, lost to the Horsham Barbarians in a sixth overtime last year, which must have been just like you'd have to like book a train travel and just delay everything.
It's a good job they had floodlights. Hopefully they don't have to use them tonight, though.
Well, we were wondering that earlier on. The sun is starting to go down a little bit there. So it's another short pass to a run play for Coventry there, gaining about half the distance to the halfway line.
And like we were saying before, I mean, you don't have necessarily at younger levels, you don't necessarily have the arm to go hoying this all the way down the field, but you don't really need to. You can get 5 to 6 yards underneath and start progressing the ball.
And that said, there's a deep pass. I think this is the...
Horan Eaton for Coventry just streaks it down the field, and, well, quite frankly, I've just jinxed it once again, haven't I?
To be fair, John, you've been doing that all day, and a very good job you've been doing as well, because that was just as you said it had happened.
I've got to say, I've been hearing Kieran's name all day long today. He must have been having a blinder.
We just watched the previous game that the under-17 Coventry team played, and he was a major factor in it. Pulling off deep receptions and interceptions. So that's Kieran there, number 3, one to watch for this game.
He looks over, it's bounced off pretty much everyone, including some of the stands and a few cars on the road outside, and that's fallen down. It's going to be 6-0 Coventry over Horsham now. Now, Horsham have come into this game. They lost out to the Buckinghamshire Wolves last year. This year they've come through on a mission, really, and they've gone 15-0. Sorry, they haven't gone 15-0. They've gone 20-0. That's a lot of games. I don't think I've played that many games in 2 years. So they're the number 1 seed and prohibitive favourites, but Coventry, they're an experienced side with a lot of football experience, and they're going to be the sort of team that you think if anyone's going to take them down, it's going to be them.
And a lot of passion. Coventry play with a lot of passion, a lot of energy, and there's a flag on the play in the backfield there. The Horsham player nearly getting to the halfway line.
I would say the Cougars, they got a really good setup as well. I think they've got like teams from like every age, basically.
The Cougars are almost a footballing dynasty now, aren't they? The Barrett family have done a fantastic job, as we were mentioning on the previous game's commentary. There's something, I think Mark Barrett, the dad of the team, was saying there's something like 56 years worth of footballing experience on that team. The girls playing currently now and the boys in the senior squad having started
still going.
At age 5.
Get him go.
That's got to be a contact foul.
That's a Marshawn Lynch-esque to tackle there.
As number 10 lowers the shoulder and levels the poor Cougar player there. Number 3, that's
Kieran again. He's up and he seems all right.
Maybe there's a game plan there somewhere.
Trying to take out the star player.
Yeah.
So the Cougars have a 6-0 lead against the Barbarians, but the Barbarians are driving. Depends how far this takes them back.
Well, if that is a standard contact foul, that's going to be a fresh set of downs, I think.
They're going backwards.
Sorry, it's a complete rookie error there. Of course, it's not a fresh set of downs, but it is a 10-yard penalty.
So from an extremely elusive run, that was a truck, really. The truck has basically pushed them back about 10 yards now. They get the ball around the halfway line, and they've got weapons, this Horsham side, from the looks of things.
See what they can do. Oh, get him, pick him.
He's tackled him.
Well done.
Lewis Kirby there being sacked.
Josh Madden.
Yeah, that's Josh Madden for the Cougars on the sack there.
I played with Josh in Germany, and he's a really, really quick player.
Really?
Yeah, he's one to watch for the future, that guy.
So it's going to be a second down now. Kirby's going to face that from a shotgun. Fakes the handoff, throws it outside. That's Sean Thompson loose and over the halfway line.
Great grab by Ben Eaton there from the Coventry team.
It's really interesting to watch these two teams there. The fact that if a couple of these teams, that Coventry already have a senior squad, but if any of these Horsham players just appear in the adult flag league, they'll have several years of experience on a number of the players who were there before they've even started.
Absolutely. I think if any of the viewers today were listening in, tuning in on the previous game.
Deep.
That's fantastic. What a reception.
Sailed it in there.
Well done, Ben.
There's Ben Kidner there with the reception. It floated through the air for what seemed like an age, but that didn't stop him from being very open in the corner of that end zone. So that's going to put the Barbarians at 6-6 with the Cougars pending an extra point. Oh, he's
Very
a tall
nice
lad to get that snap.
Oh, and an easy extra point.
That's too easy for them.
I think the hard work was done picking that snap up. So it's 7-6 to the Barbarians over the Cougars now. And that crucial extra point coming in. And I need a stair lift to get to that snap. And he just jumped up there. So Coventry's good start. Not wiped out, but they've let the Barbarians respond. And they're going to have to do it all over again.
There's that short dinking pass again. The run negated by a quick flag pull by the number 4 from Horsham, Aaron Collins.
It's going to bring up a second down here. And Coventry have just got to take it very slow and not necessarily worry about giving up a touchdown here, because you've got a lot of football still to play. And that's another completion for Ben Eaton of Coventry.
That's the, just noticed the fun fact there, that's the Eaton brothers. So you're going to be hearing their names a lot. There's Kieran Eaton and Ben Eaton there, numbers 6 and 3.
And that's a drop. So you notice that the Horsham team, they've got a couple of yards on the Coventry players. There's a lot of tall players up there. With a throw like Lewis Kirby on there, you could see them sort of trying to throw up a couple of gimmies there as we get into the game later on.
Definitely.
Coventry's James Atmore back to throw with a whipped sidearm. And I think that's just inches away. A flag on the play.
On the play there.
What's that for?
I wonder whether someone's come through the back there. Let's see what the referees say. This could be a crucial one here. So close to the first down marker.
That looks like is that a Horsham penalty? Contact penalty.
Oof.
On the defence.
So that's a first down to Coventry. That's going to do them a world of good. Now look at that, eating into the amount of yards they've got to get to the goal there, and that very, very tight first down or not first down play suddenly turns into Well, a first and reasonably short for Coventry as they look to get their momentum going.
Nice behind the back handoff there.
Oh.
Behind the back handoff by the QB there, James Ashmore. Gets Coventry a nice gain.
That's a very distinctive way to receive the snap there for James Ashmore. He's down quite low on the ball there. He's very keen to make sure that goes into his hands.
Absolutely.
So that's going to bring up a second down now. Coventry looking to respond to the opening Horsham touchdown and go back into the lead again, and it's in!
Savannah.
Oh, and a flag flying in.
Oh, this could rain on the parade. So,
Cougars foul, is it, or something?
Talking to both teams, nothing clear as yet.
By half the team. Illegal procedure on the offence. Shadow.
Oh, it's against Coventry.
Penalty. Replay down.
So instead of a touchdown, that's not a touchdown there, that's a false start for Coventry.
See if they can make amends on this. Hand off. There he goes. There he goes. Ooh.
And he's out of bounds and he's not there.
That's Mashak McCook taking the ball to about the Horsham 2.
And of course the McCook dynasty, quite famous in the Midlands. Shadrach McCook, of course, famously formerly Coventry Jets and recently Northants Titans.
Right.
So is this a relative of the young man?
Yeah, this is the dynasty happening.
Wow.
Oh, picked. Is it picked?
Has he got it?
He's got it.
Picked him.
He's got it. He's going.
He's picked him and he's going low. He's beating his man. He's going to try and beat him again.
Penalty
Flag.
on the
He's
play.
got it. There's a flag somewhere down.
I'm going to say that's going to be for flag guarding with the way the number 5 from Horsham was waving his arms around at defenders.
I thought he was going to give him a slap on the face there.
The flag came in flying in from the backfield from a great pick from the number 5, Sean Thomas.
The reaction of the Horsham players suggests that it is on Horsham. But that's Coventry knocking on the door and Sean Thompson giving them the response that maybe they weren't hoping for there.
After the interception,
That flag will not negate the turnover
return team.
as the ball is handed back to Coventry by the referees.
First down.
And that's going to be a first down to Horsham.
But the ball is going to be called back to the likely spot of the foul.
Wow, so he's going a fair way back. The guy must have been windmills all the way down that field there.
That's how he got down there so quick.
So Sean Thompson's windmill-propelled return doesn't quite go as far as they were hoping, and Horsham have the ball, well, on their own 5. But they have the ball, which is the most important thing with Coventry knocking on the door just a little while ago. And they can start with Thompson once again. He's going to work his way a few yards up. That pass being delivered by Lewis Kirby, and Horsham get a nice break on that last drive when touchdown negated by a false start penalty. And it's those things that they can be so heartbreaking for a team.
Oh, penalty can really cost you.
So the score remains Barbarians 7,
Coventry 6.
Cougars 6.
I would say that Cougars do leave a lot of space open at the front for Horsham. They've been exploiting that a couple of times now. Let's see if I can eat my words and
Bring in the commentator's jinx there, really.
that's right.
Oh, he's doing the short one again.
Little short dink.
Rudi lives to fight another day.
Steps out of bounds.
Anything that happens after this point is no longer your responsibility.
That's right. That's my disclaimer.
So Horsham now working the ball up the field. We're hitting a third down. They're nice and comfortable.
What's this number 10? What's the number
As a
10?
side, they've truly cured their jinx against the Buckinghamshire Wolves after losing to them last season. They beat them 5 times on the way through, and they've just completed a decent first down. That's Max Patterson with the catch, and he doesn't look happy with that flag going down. So let's see who this is on.
Brilliant referee.
As we were saying, Buckinghamshire ravaged by the inevitability of age, losing quite a bit of their starting defence and indeed their starting offence on this way, but that's not to take anything away from the fact that Horsham have taken the disappointment of last year and just run with it. And well, they look like a pretty smooth and calm side here.
Well, they do, John. There's a couple of what look to be seasoned coaches over on the far sideline there, running the offence there.
And he's leaped it again.
Oh! They're certainly an athletic side. They've got a lot of speed, a lot of quick reactions on those turns.
And some of those guys are involved in the GB setup as well for Horsham, if I'm not mistaken.
Is that the coaches there?
Yes.
2-minute warning. Both teams have 2 timeouts.
It's always good, especially at a youth stage, to have some experienced coaches that you can rely on to get you through these situations, especially at that age, to learn the fundamentals and really push you through into the adults.
Well, this is what we were talking about in the previous final game with Matt Lawler about how much of a great setup for the game it is to be coaching kids at this age, at this level, and what that'll do for the adult game in years to come.
And he's dropped that one in between the coverage. That's not going to be any good for them there.
There we go. The Coventry Cougars are back.
Setting up a chant from the stands, pumping the team up.
Don't jinx it.
And you get some great reactions from the crowds here at these under-13 and under-17 finals. The famous one, of course, the under-13 final, when the Chorley Buccaneers beat the under-13 Coventry Cougars last year. The elation from the stands was just electric. They'd gone through to several finals and lost it. To say grab one of those, to have their parents and the relatives cheering them on from the sidelines, it's a great occasion for these kids.
It really is, and there's a lot of family support here, especially from the Coventry team. What a fantastic
So that's a touchdown for Horsham. The Barbarians extend their lead. That's one of those height passes that we were talking about there.
You have to say there's definitely it seems that each Horsham player has a couple of inches on each Cougar, and that seemed to pay dividends there with number 11 Luke Baldwin bringing in that touchdown.
So we're awaiting the extra point. It's currently 13-6 to the Barbarians over the Cougars, but that's going to be pending this extra point. Kirby.
It's Eaton. Go on, Eaton.
Eaton just landed on him there.
That was on a plate for him.
There's that name again, Kieran Eaton.
So Kieran Eaton stops the Barbarians from extending their lead over the Cougars. It's still 13-6, but it's a touchdown game with a regular one extra point, not one of the slightly ambitious 2-pointers that we might have to do later on.
I think we've only seen one attempt at a 2-pointer today, have we, John? It was in the previous final.
Yeah, a 2-pointer from the 5-yard line.
From the 5 due to a penalty, that's right.
Might see slightly more running plays in some of these youth finals. So he was looking for Eaton again, but he couldn't find him. So that's going to bring up a Coventry second down. And of course the Coventry Cougars and the Horsham Barbarians were due to play their final game of the round robin. Due to the sort of the pitch issues we've had today, they've decided they might as well play that as the final because both were going through anyway. So this is technically only the third game that they've played today. So they'll be slightly fresher than the under-13s, who I think are probably just getting an ice bath at this point. They've been playing. They played a few games now, and they've been just playing there. The Coventry side weren't in the under-13s, but you're going to see the Chorley Buccaneers in the London Blitz. They're coming up after this.
Hand off there to Mashak McCook, sorry. And nice gain to around about it's about 6 yards, 7 yards to go to the halfway line there.
Here he goes, Ashmore going to try and throw it.
Okay.
He loops over the top and he was off. There we
You can
go,
see the
Matt
height difference
Patterson
there.
was just sitting there, almost daring him to throw that ball over the middle.
I think there's about a foot difference though between the Horsham guys there and the Cougars.
A couple of Cougars there just sitting on the goal on the halfway line. Didn't really give the QB a chance to connect. So that's a turnover on downs. Ball going now to the Horsham 5. And they're going to start with the ball.
So Coventry have a real team spirit. You're going to hear them getting quite vocal even if they are behind here. They're going to try and push their team back in it, but they're going to need to get stilts if they keep chucking those balls up there.
There's a run play from Horsham. Missed tackle there.
He's still going. He's got down there and
Good stop.
Joseph Blake with that run there, and it's good that people still coming through in their teens are learning the spin moves early.
Well, this is very much the strength of the youth game, isn't it, John? It's once those players get running, the jukes, the spins, the turns, the sheer speed of them. Just it's amazing to watch and very difficult to play against. As certainly the Vikings. Wow!
If he'd have kept running on that one.
Turned a little bit too soon to watch that go over his head.
That guy can jump as well. Number 6, Lewis.
Lewis has got spring, hasn't he?
He's got some hops.
He's got the hops.
Yeah.
You're going to start recruiting him from one of your basketball
I think
teams.
I'm going to have to.
There it is. It's Thompson was just careening past the Coventry defence there. He had about 5 yards of space. He looked round and he probably wishes he'd taken it in stride now, but Horsham have another opportunity. Kirby's looking long for Thompson.
What a reception. Great job. Great job.
And he's in!
Now that was something else.
Well, that's the one way to recover from the last one. Oh, there's a flag. I think that's going to be excessive celebration.
Elements of taunting there in that celebration, which draws the flag for unsportsmanlike conduct on the number 10. Number 5, sorry.
That's going to be a major weakness they can exploit there when you've got someone like Sean Thompson with reach like that and very good catching by the sounds of things. Arching his back on that turn. It's what he tried to do before when he found out the ball was slightly behind him, but this one, well, it wasn't dead on him, but he had to properly stretch behind him to get it and then just made the rest of it work.
With style, that was some beautiful cutting there.
On the offense, excessive celebration.
So that's going to extend the score out. That's going to be 19-6 going into the extra point. Horsham Barbarians leading the Coventry Cougars here in the first half.
How would you describe his celebration then? Was it more like a bird trying to fly, or what would you say? I was trying to work that one out.
I don't know. I think he, as he dropped the ball, he turned to the Cougar team on the sideline and just kind of was a little bit too much of a showman.
Yeah.
Directly to the team. I think that was probably the correct call from the ref at this stage of play. We want our kids to enjoy the game and be respectful of each other.
Not to mention the fact that in the first half, if you're starting to raise those tensions early on, it's only going to start bubbling more towards the end. There'll be more stoppages, there'll be more riots.
That's right. After a long day of football, it's very easy for the emotions to run high in these kids, and it's better to just keep it calmer while you can.
So with the score at 19-6, Horsham, they're going to set up for this extra point. Kirby from the shotgun.
He's
blocked it.
That was Kieran Eaton again coming in for the stop.
Eaton seems to be everywhere.
Yeah, he does.
Where's that ball?
We just start throwing these sheets away and just use one number.
So I think
Be pulling the flag, chop the camera.
we tried to
Eye in the
diversify,
sky.
yeah. So Coventry are going to have the ball, but they're down 19-6.
looks like offensive coordinator Millie Barrett on the field, giving some last-minute steerage to her offensive team.
course, the story of the Barrett sisters is particularly interesting when they've come all the way through the youth ranks. They're no strangers to playing internationally. They've just returned from the GB Women's inaugural international season over in Spain, in which they finished 8th, which isn't a bad start for a rookie side. They've also played regularly at BritBowl. They played in the Adult Flag League. They've won the Opal Series Women's Championship twice. I couldn't dream of achievements like that.
There's very little they haven't done at this stage. It's
Oh!
the deep ball.
It's long. It's got
Fantastic! Eaton!
That is
What
insane!
a way to answer back!
Wow.
Unbelievable from Coventry.
Wow.
And did you catch who that was again? It sounded like Eaton again.
That was
didn't it?
Eaton again. That was
Let me
Kieran
guess.
Eaton.
Wow. And what a great pass as well. It's amazing.
That was almost
Off
the entire
balance as
length
well,
of the field. I'm not even sure he nearly went out the back of the end zone on that one.
He's charging across the field, almost unbalanced. Hoys that one. There was nowhere else that could have gone and hit a touchdown.
Has he got it?
And he's got it for the extra point.
So the
good.
score's now extra point. With the extra point, it's now 19-13. The Horsham Barbarians lead 19-13 against the Coventry Cougars, but that's a bit of a wake-up call for Horsham there.
That's really turned this game on.
You've got Coventry players celebrating on the pitch, you've got Coventry players celebrating on the sidelines, and the Cougar roar
In the
back in
stands.
play. There's not really much you can do about that, really, and
Well,
you
it
could just
seems-
put Eaton under a blanket for a
Give him a rest. It seems that Coach Barrett's pep talk at the beginning of that drive really worked.
Was the pep talk just hoy it up there?
Just go
I'm
long.
not sure the Coventry term hoy would extend to this. Looking there at Kieran Eaton on the sidelines, down on the ground and being talked to by some of the coaches. Not sure if he's taken a knock at some point. Hopefully he will be returning to the game, being a major part of both the offense and the defense in this team.
So that's the...
So I take it that's the half time now then, John?
Well, you don't want to ask me to call half-time every time.
Yeah, we made a little mistake in the commentary booth here with the half-time call in the previous adult final. But it looks like both teams have gone into their respective huddles for the half-time in the 17s final. Great shot there of the Coventry Cougars huddle.
Of course, Barrett sisters have been here before. They were sort of obviously extremely experienced flag players. They'll have an idea of what these people should do. Of course, the question is that, whether they're going to be able to do it with Horsham running so well.
That really is going to be the challenge. It's all about this second half, John. Just remind me who started with the ball.
It's Coventry.
So they're going to
Horsham
be
are
on
gonna
D.
get
They're
it.
a score down.
But I definitely think there's going to be a lot more scores in this game, judging by the averages that they get. I believe the Cougars are on 37 points per game.
Is that right? From the
10
season?
Yeah, from 10 games played, 377 points.
That is very impressive. Well, judging by the increasing use of the long ball towards the end of that half, I think you're probably right there, Rudy.
Well, the interesting thing is neither of these teams have actually lost this season. Coventry got a few forfeits on the way, but all of these teams are pretty much unbeaten. It's been a pretty exciting one, and this is, whatever happens here, this is going to be a first loss of the season for one of these teams. I'm not entirely sure that Coventry want a shootout against the Barbarians here, but we could see a few more scores in this.
This is it. Biggest 5 minutes of your lives. Come on.
So that's the huddles are broken for the teams are coming out now for the start of the second half.
So you hope that, obviously, Kieran Eaton was sitting on the floor there. We hope we're reading too much into that and pushing the narrative from the commentary box. But you hope he'd be okay, because he's been a huge part of that first half offence for the Cougars, and indeed their defence.
Just an all-round great player.
So as we say,
So
genuinely
he's,
exciting times for the Coventry Cougars as they get a stop here against the Barbarians. They could start to make an assault on this game. But first, they have to stop Lewis Kirby and the Barbarians offense, who will start the second half with the ball and a 19-13 lead. And Kirby, unlike Coventry, delivering that from the shotgun. He's looking back. He looks immediately over to his right-hand side and tries to launch it over the left.
Not going to happen.
His arm's too good for the player.
He was always chasing shadows on that one. That was a good 5-10 yards beyond him.
That's a heck of an arm he's got there.
Definitely.
And he's a left-hander as well.
Always the best. Steve Young was a left-hander. So was Mark Brunel, I believe.
Fun facts there from Mr. John Hill.
Unless, of course, it's completely wrong, in which case, you know, he definitely had a left hand.
Well, we were definitely rocking the made up flag statistics hashtag a couple of days before this final. So maybe that's another one of them.
So there's Sean Thompson again. Of course, came up with that big, crucial interception when Coventry really, really didn't need it in the first half. So this is going to be third down for Horsham. Still pretty manageable. Kirby's going to get that snap again. He's immediately looking over the middle. There's a bit of a stumble.
That's it. Short dump to number 7. Flag immediately pulled there by Mashak McCook.
So again, he's looking for Patterson. Patterson's been a bit of a danger to Coventry in that first half, trying to keep that going in the second. So here we are. We have the fourth down now. Horsham looking to get that new set of downs, or maybe more. You never know the way these quarterbacks have been throwing today. He's going for the second one. They need to move.
The flag is taken.
They've got the tackle there, so that should be a first down for Coventry. So that's exactly what they had to do to start off the first half.
That was all they needed to do, and they did it. I've just noticed I was getting a little bit confused there, John, as I was trying to comment on that last play, but there are in fact 2 number 5s on the Coventry Cougars team.
It's a very curious situation. It seems like they've got some of the female players have the same numbers as some of the male players, and that's allowed. It's confusing, but it's allowed.
But that was definitely Grace Conway.
Okay, well done, Lee, thank you.
Rather than Mashak.
Great.
So that first down pass, that's a drop. So as this game goes on, we've got the under-13s preparing for action in the later final, which is going to be...
Oh, great!
Oh, that's a great catch.
Let me have a guess.
Tiptoe.
Number 3.
That's Kieran Eaton again, pulling in that toe tapper right on the sideline, just short of the first down marker.
Yeah, come here.
If Coventry do come back and win this, there's got to be a nice spot somewhere in the town centre for a statue of that man.
Come on, back in, quicker, come on.
Of course, his counterpart, number 3, Ivana Page, who's already actually played for the senior team, the Opal Series, the Coventry Cougars women's team, which claimed the Opal Series title for the second straight season earlier this year. They're going to be back into action in a few weeks' time, looking to reclaim their title. And it's been a real testament to the setup at the Coventry Cougars that they have had such experience and such interesting.
Oh, he's gone. Eaton.
He's Eaton again.
Just stopped.
Oh, he's got a real limp on the go here.
It looks like he might have done his...
Oh, has he pulled a muscle?
That looks like a calf
Clutching
muscle.
at his calf there. That was the...
Oh, and that's a neck injury by Kirby as well. They don't want Kirby to be injured as well. 2 crucial players, one on each side, look to be trying to shake something off. Eaton does not look like he's particularly happy on that calf muscle, and Kirby is still on the field. One
thing I love about this game is the camaraderie. Everyone getting down on their, one knee, showing respect. It's a great thing to see.
It's good to see in the younger players, definitely.
Well, it's a game which you need competitiveness. You don't need the same sort of aggression that maybe you might need in some of the other more contacty sports, but and that is a technical term, contacty.
Contactive.
So, yeah. Hashtag contacty football. Well, you've got. Obviously, he's getting a lot of attention on the sidelines. He's standing up on his own, but he's probably a little bit grumpy, I would imagine. If he's fighting off.
I would imagine it's getting quite close to these kids' bedtimes now, because we've this game and this day has gone on a little longer than it was supposed to.
And there's Kirby walking very gingerly off the field with something slapped on his neck there. He obviously just got either hit the ground or a person harder than maybe he needed to. So
that could be a big loss. Hope he comes back in soon.
So Eaton's going to sit this one out for a little while. We don't know how long, but that's going to be 2 key players out, one on each side. And we hope they're both back in soon. He seems reasonably happy. Sandwich in tow. Maybe it was a sandwich break.
Oh,
he's got it. Zach Waterhouse there. That's not a name we've said yet, but we've said it now, and he's come up with a very crucial play to keep them moving down the field. I mean, it's an extremely fascinating encounter between these two sides, mainly because it was so grueling last year. You can imagine the amount of effort it takes to go through 6 overtimes. The Glasgow Hornets and Sheffield Predators made it to about 3 or 4 this season in the adult league, but having 6...
And it was Predators that went through in the end.
Of course, they just kept on trucking until that semi-final loss that I denied happened in the previous podcast. But yes, they lost 24-22 to the Birmingham Lions in the semi-finals. Of course, the Birmingham Lions, the eventual winners of adult BritBowl. And who's going to join them from the under-17s? At the moment, Coventry are moving and are very close to taking the lead if they can get through here.
Grace. Oh, no.
And that is Grace Conway.
Yeah, 2 number 5s next to each other there.
So can the Cougars punch this one in?
Right, so Larry New gone and then
Still a bit of football to go, but it's hard to overstate the importance that coming off the drive like this could have to them. He's looking, he's rolling out, he's dropped more or less straight into the turf.
You can see wide left there. Yeah, she was wide open.
That was Grace Conway again, wide open in the left backfield.
And that's going to be a turnover on downs, which means that that long and promising drive actually ultimately came to nothing for the Cougars. And you might get a couple more chances like that, but you hope that after the defence did so well against Horsham to open the second half, that they can hold out and do it again.
Well, as we've seen in these, especially in the adult games earlier, John, at this kind of level, you can't give away too many of those opportunities and still hope to win the game.
Looks like Lewis Kirby's back on.
The magic sponge has worked.
It starts working less and less as you get older, I think.
He's going,
he's still going. It's a breakaway run.
Running. Oh, he's still going.
Still just stopped by James Ashmore.
So Joseph Blake runs a reasonably short path into something a little more devastating for the Coventry Cougars. That's going to bring up a first down to Horsham. Remember, the score is still Barbarians 19, Cougars 13 in the second half. So even if the Barbarians do score here, the game isn't over. They just need to get back into that end zone quickly.
Watch the run. Sean's on, Sean's on.
Another completion there. Sean Thompson. And the Barbarians move ever closer to that end zone. It's worth mentioning again the fact that the Barbarians have just been fairly prolific scorers this season. 93 against over 20 games. Some of those were, of course, probably quite horrendous for the teams on the other side, because they've got 809 points for.
I mean, that's quite a stunning figure, 809 points.
And he's looking high.
Deep ball attempt for Luke Baldwin. Just
Even the lanky barbarian going to need stilts for that.
just goes over his outstretched fingers. So that's some quick mental arithmetic there. Tells me that slightly over 40 points per game is what the Barbarians averaged in the season just gone.
So that's a long season for most of the under-17, but most of the actual games must have been pretty interminable for some of the players who are playing them. That's an extremely well-oiled offensive machine.
Dink off to number 10. Takes it into the right corner. Just takes it over the pylon.
So pending the extra point, now 25-13. Barbarians over Cougars. This is, of course, pending the extra point.
Great game for Blake.
Joseph Blake.
It's the heartbreaking ones once again, the ones you get that pass, they get it, the defender could get that first tackle, but once they get around that corner it gets harder and harder to stop them. They're stretching and they're going for that end zone.
That is it. Extra point attempt here by Horsham.
Herbie pump fakes, looks over back corner.
Number 10 again, Joseph Blake, the scorer of the touchdown, just couldn't pull that one in.
The Barbarians seem to have a side bet to try and recreate the Odell Beckham catch at some point. Everyone's got a bit of an arch in their back as they pick these ones up.
Do Kit Kat with blue and red on each side.
So that one's incomplete, which brings up Barbarians 25, Cougars 13 in the second half.
4 minutes, 45 seconds.
Well done, Horan. Quality, mate. Back here. Get back in, man. Come on, quicker.
No, forget about it. James.
So Coventry are going to need to keep moving. They're going to need to keep going. It's not an unclimbable mountain here for them, but they are going to need to get stops.
Well, it's not, John, as we saw in the adult flag final with Birmingham over the London Rebels. The Rebels mounted a heck of a comeback to bring it within one score. Close towards the end of the second half, but just couldn't make the difference.
So we're deep into the second half now, and they're gonna have to do something special here. Ashmore looking, waiting for a receiver. He's waiting for something.
Well, 2 flags flying in from the referees. Not sure
wonder if
what
somebody
they're for.
jumped on that one.
I think it was a false start.
It can be frustrating for a team, especially if you're trying to get the blitzer off their game.
So that was a false start on the defense, it looked like. You can't have a false. No,
Legal
have a
blitz
false
we got in
start
from
on the
Dan.
defense.
No, they're going forward. There's an illegal blitz. We've been talking all this time about how Coventry will be frustrated. It turns out that it's just the audience at home that are frustrated. Ashmore looking out again, rolling out.
Quick,
He's
deep ball,
deep ball. Is he going to get it again?
Yes!
But Dilly Boy pulled the flag.
They've called it a sack.
Heartbreak.
All that running for nothing.
Wow.
Well, you can get away with it at that age, but still.
Right.
That we've used the term game changer again. That could have been the game changer in this final.
You can only hope that Eaton's been collecting Fitbit steps, because that one isn't going to count for anything else.
Quick sub. It's Josh.
Josh Madden going in. We're going to see some Madden plays.
He's looking over the middle. He's jumped in front of his man there. He's desperate to make a play.
Mashak McCook coming in there, seeming to try and take the pass away from his own teammate, and ends up hitting it into the ground.
That's a 2-minute warning. Both teams have
That is the 2-minute warning.
They need to step it up, Cougars, quick, if they want to get anything out of this.
They need a quick stop and a turnaround. That's a 2-score game. Very hard ask against this Horsham squad in under 2 minutes. Well, what a heartbreaker that last play might turn out to be. A seeming touchdown, definite touchdown negated by an last-second flag pull for a sack.
We've all been there in those situations where you have that bam play, where you have looks like a sack or a touchdown or a massive play, and in those situations at least you can say that they've got referees here this time. At least you have someone to blame.
That's right.
So time ticking away for Coventry. Horsham are going to be in no particular hurry to do anything, and well, they don't need to. So Kirby's going to step back under centre again. He's pretty much got the world at his feet here. He's got a.
He's just going to hand it off.
Lead.
That's the standard flag play to run the clock down. Just keep handing the ball off for the run play. Keeps the clock rolling. So it looks like the Cougars have called a timeout.
Well, they've just got to keep the Barbarians from taking that clock down, hope for a big play. They're going to need 2, really.
Yeah.
At least 2. It would be an amazing turn up for the books if we found 2 pick sixes in these diving stages.
You never know.
I'm not sure we've seen a pick 6, not in any of the finals today anyway.
Not as yet. Of course, there was the famous incident at BritBowl where the Mexicans, I believe, were the beneficiaries of the pick 6.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Our own Rudi Halfmann here was at the BritBowl this year, and
I was watching.
perhaps he can shed some light on this rumour.
I believe what happened was they got a pick 6. I can't remember.
You heard it here first, folks. So
Thanks for
hopefully you heard it
confirming that.
somewhere else in a slightly more dramatic way.
It looks like we're going for the...
he's dropped
we were going to go for the deep ball.
I must say the Mexicans are a great side to watch, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. I recommend anyone to go on YouTube, check them out.
This is the Mexican national flag squad.
That's right, not just Mexicans in general.
Okay. Be careful now. We're not going to make any Top Gear style gaffes at this stage.
I'm gaffed out. So they're actually winding this one down. That pass was a little bit low, would have taken it to a first down and effectively ended this tie. But they're still going to have to do a little bit of work. So he's just going to play it over the first down marker, and that's should be enough. That's Alfie Birchfield with the catch, and I think that's pretty much what she wrote, isn't it?
With that first down, that pretty much ends Coventry's hopes of a comeback.
It's a pretty quiet sideline at this point, but they shouldn't necessarily be ashamed of what they've done with the difference of like a split second on that sack there. 1 touchdown down, and they can start really pushing them. Horsham, an extremely talented side this season with a great arm on Kirby and some talented, tall and receivers with good hands.
Fantastic. I very, very impressed with the athletic ability of that Horsham side.
I think we're looking for some running backs, aren't we, Mike?
We absolutely are. Are you suggesting we start tapping up some of the...
so. Yes. Now's the time
the
to
other
do
teams?
it. While we're watching them here, number 10.
Horsham at this point do not have a senior side.
Yes. Not yet.
It's probably worth asking the question of exactly how far Horsham is from Sheffield and whether he'd be able to turn up to weekly training, though, Mr. Halfmann.
Our pre-game commentary research didn't extend to geography, and nor should it. In a country as small as England, we shouldn't be really quibbling over a matter of 200 yards.
And we have a fantastic run by number 3, Alfie Birchfield, taking the ball through the the majority of the Cougar squad.
So that's going to bring the score up to 31 for the Barbarians, 13 for the Cougars.
And that seals the Horsham victory.
So it's going to be another disappointment for the Coventry Cougars. They've really shone as an outfit, but what about the Barbarians? Well, it's just been, there have been flashes of excellent play from them, the catching, the passing, some pretty solid defence, and coming up with people like Sean Thompson coming up with that interception late on when the game was in the mix.
Yeah, that's the extra point.
So Daniel Longo adds that extra point.
I think Horsham have just been an excellent, well-drilled side. Rarely put a foot wrong.
32 to the Barbarians, 13 to the Cougars. And this is going to be, we've talked a lot about the Barbarians and how good they are this season, but they've won 20 games, not including the ones that they won here today. But this is a really good way to exercise that defeat they had last season in BritBowl. And he's Ashmore over and over.
Oh!
A tip pick.
Has he actually got it?
I think he did. I think the number 10, Joseph Blake. Yes, the referee is indicating a reception. So that is a pick on the 12-yard line.
Yards out there.
Yeah.
Ashmore with a punt pass there. That was going end over end, about 20 yards over the end. There's not really much he can do from that. You've just got to lob that one, to be honest. You haven't got the time to play anything fancy.
Nope.
It's a Hail Mary.
And it bounced off a couple of people as it came down there.
That's game.
So that'll do it.
Well done.
Very well done, Coventry Cougars. They absolutely played their hearts out all day and in this game. But at the end of it, it hasn't been enough.
32 to the Barbarians, 13 for the Coventry Cougars. We've got our second BritBowl winner of the day. Is it still a day? We're into the twilight now. But it is the Horsham Barbarians. And really worthy winners. Tall winners.
Tall winners.
Very tall. I don't think we've said that enough. They're very tall people.
Sun setting.
Could you say they're a long team, John?
Well, if they were lying down.
Yeah, perhaps.
Yeah, end to end, I think they would make
Yeah.
Perhaps that could be a fun flag fact, hashtag. Which, if you laid the team members end to end, which would be the longest flag team in England?
Let's say,
I'll leave you with that conundrum, Mr. Halfmann. Perhaps you can come up with an answer by next year's flag finals.
Well, we get the stats team on it.
Yeah, I think.
Pulling the Flag have a very good stats team, I understand.
It's pretty much all we do. So they're going to have a pretty quick turnaround onto the under-13s final between the London Blitz and the Chorley Buccaneers. But they'll break up quickly for the presentations here. But looking ahead a little bit, Chorley and London played out a 20-20 tie just now, in fact. It could be a decent matchup.
They actually did get a 2-point extra 2 points, did you say, in that final game, the 2020. That's how they managed to draw.
Yeah.
So that's
so they made a 2-point conversion.
So it's going to be
Gutsy call by the coaches there.
That's right.
So, of course, they're Chorley Buccaneers headed up by Keith Schofield, BAFCA. I said that very closely and quick. I said that too quickly, and then it all just went wrong for me. Yeah, he's the BAFCA Coach of the Year this year. And he'll be playing up against the London Blitz, who are in their second year as a under-13 side. They're going to be the last people to receive the BritBowl treatment. So I'm going to take this opportunity. We've just going to have to say goodbye to Rudi Halfmann now, who is disappearing on a jet plane to try and recruit all of the Horsham players.
I've got a couple of £10 notes in my back pocket. I'm hoping that will do. Yes.
So I was just going to draw attention to the sad scenes on the screen there of some tears from the Cougars there. It just goes to show the amount of passion and dedication they put into their game today. So played with so much emotion.
It's never easy to lose, especially in a final.
But thanks for your input there, Rudi.
No, thank you.
It's been a pleasure to have you.
All right. Cheers, guys. See you next
later,
time.
Just leave it.
That's Rudi making his goodbyes. We didn't bring the dry ice for him to leave, so I don't.
We need a big sheet of paper for him to run through.
I think that helicopter was for him. We're going to have a quick transfer over here because we've got someone coming into the studio who has experience of the upcoming competition, the under-13s. We've got Neil Weimer, who is, of course, one of our PTF writers, our resident youth correspondent, and the head coach of the Leicester Huntsmen. Neil, how are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Been a good, long, enjoyable day. Shame we couldn't make the final, but really looking forward to the up-and-coming under-13s final.
He used to be a member of the Cougars organisation. Obviously, it's not going to be a good feeling for them now, but they've had a lot of good history, the Cougars.
Yeah, they've been in the league for a few years now. They've never managed to quite win the big one, but they're always thereabouts. They are a well-organised team. It's just come up against what was an outstanding Horsham Barbarians side today, unfortunately.
I mean, from what you've seen of Horsham, is this a team that is going to be able to repeat at this level, or are they going to have a lot of players graduating now?
Well, I don't obviously know too much about the age of their players, to be honest, but if they can keep that set of players for next year, they're looking really good to go again, aren't they, really?
They were an excellent side. They didn't really put a foot wrong in that. Not that Coventry did either, I think, perhaps apart from that one interception. Very, very evenly matched game, but Horsham were just too good.
So, referees there commiserating with a couple of Coventry players as they come through. They fought so hard, but in the end, it'll be next year maybe for them.
I think for the Cougars, a lot of these players will still be there for next season as well, so they've clearly got a good chance, and they've also got a couple of cadets moving up as well that will bolster their side for the 2016 season too.
One excellent thing about the Cougars organisation at this youth level is that they bring through so many players of both sexes.
Well, that's it. The foundation of the side is built on what they call a family team, and a lot of their kids obviously are female. So I think they lose Ivana for next year. Sorry, just watching my nephew go by there as well, getting his runners-up medal. But yeah, I think they lose Ivana, but again, I think they keep a lot of. I think they pretty much, apart from Ivana, I think they keep the whole side for next season.
So Ivana's moving up to the senior squad?
She actually already is an Opal Series champion. But yeah, I think she's ineligible next year, so their loss, I guess.
Now a defiant finish there from the Cougars, huddling up for that chant. With all attention now on the team in black that's approaching the podium, let's call it.
Oh, well, sorry, John, we still have a plate being brandished here. But the plate lofted this time. The plate was nearly lofted.
Plate was nearly lofted, nearly dropped. We were talking before about proper plate safety. And people probably wish we'd stop.
Yes, I think we should probably stop now.
We don't want to look like we're in any way lobbying for the plate industry.
Plate favouritism.
And there's Kieran Eaton, who had a very good day here, and even in defeat, just constantly mentioned here on our commentary. Maybe because he's closer to the top of the page, but coming up with every single play.
Certainly a standout player for the Cougars.
Absolutely.
I believe James and Kieran will move up to seniors next year as well, but I think they might still be eligible next year for the juniors. Just seeing number 7 there, Zach Waterhouse. He actually broke his arm not that long ago, so to actually come back and be able to play in the final is quite special for him. So great effort from him to get into the game.
So here we are, we've got players milling around waiting to congratulate this team. Who are tall, did we mention that? They're very tall. Yeah.
They're a very tall team, very long team.
Horsham Barbarians!
Congratulations to Horsham, 2015's under-17 BritBowl champions. Completely unbeaten throughout. Really, really rebounded spectacularly as an organisation from that final defeat last year against the Buckinghamshire Wolves, and now can call themselves champions of their age level, and they ain't no one better than them this season.
No, they're topping it out. Quarterback Kirby leading the team forward there. They received their winners' medals.
And who stood out for you today?
I think Kirby. Kirby, and where's the number 10? Joseph Blake. He got 2 of their touchdowns, and was just one of the standout players for me. I think, was it even him who got that deep reception that then juked it into the end zone as well?
I believe that was Patterson, wasn't it?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Your memory is far better than mine, but then I am older than you.
Championship play. First off, it has been impossible to call the MVP for the game. I will say that there were too many of them, right? However, between every good catch, there's been a pass at start. So the MVP today goes to the QB, the number 6.
So this is the MVP award.
Goes to the quarterback. Much like many final MVP awards.
Hardest job on the field.
And this year's winners, Horsham Barbarians!
So Horsham being handed the winner's plate there.
So no real surprises so far. 2 very good plays in the final, but not really a major surprise so far in terms of who's gone through. We've got some very worthy winners who were, well, arguably the favourites for both of their competitions.
Definitely. No real upsets on the day in any of the finals. Some fantastic finals. They've been very entertaining. Some the level of skill has been very high. But as you say, no unexpected results here.
And we'll be back for the last of those 3, the under-13 final between the Chorley Buccaneers and the London Blitz. Me and Mike will be back with you in a second. We're just going to take a quick break to refresh everything, stretch our legs, and maybe get another one of those coffees I've been hearing so much about. But stay tuned, we'll be with you in a second.
Thanks, John.
Yeah!